Now we need like a concert cheer. Good evening, Saratoga! I feel like I'm facing the wrong direction, though. I am facing the wrong direction. All right, well, I'll get this going. Good evening and welcome to the annual meeting of the Saratoga Economic Development Corporation. My name is John Munter. I proudly serve as the chairman of the SEDC Board of Directors. I now call this annual meeting to order and invite our host for the evening, Elizabeth Sobel, CEO for the Saratoga Performing Arts Center, to the podium for remarks celebrating the 60th anniversary of this international arts, education, and entertainment venue. Elizabeth.
Thank you all. It is just such a pleasure to be able to welcome you all, not just to SPAC, but how about being up here on this amazing stage? Pretty great, right? And obviously, we just want to express our sincere thanks to Greg Connors and everybody at SEDC for everything they do for SPAC and for the community and for this tremendous opportunity to host you all here tonight. It's such a great pleasure. And I did want to take a moment, if you don't mind, to share a little bit about SPAC and why it continues to play such a meaningful role in the vitality and growth of our region. 60 years ago, SPAC was born out of a truly audacious vision to create a world-class performing arts center in a small city in upstate New York. And most importantly, the primary motivation behind that vision was economic development. The city was in a long period of decline that had begun in the early 1950s, and SPAC's arrival on the scene in 1966 began to turn things around. The economic renewal ignited by the creation of SPAC has never waned. Now, SPAC stands today as an incomparable cultural tourism destination, anchored by residencies by New York City Ballet, the Philadelphia Orchestra, Saratoga Jazz Festival, and the powerful lineup of pop and rock artists presented by Live Nation every summer. There is, of course, a certain magic to SPAC, a legacy and a sense of place that is impossible to replicate and very difficult to adequately capture in words. But what is important is what we can measure. For those of you who may be asking how a cultural organization like SPAC has relevance to economic development, according to that 2023 Camoin Economic Impact Analysis, SPAC generates over $105 million in annual economic impact for the region. And the true impact is even greater, because what we know is this: cultural tourists spend 60% more than the average leisure tourist. And SPAC is uniquely positioned to attract them to the city, benefiting not just SPAC, but all the hotels, the restaurants, the retailers, and our other numerous cultural colleagues and partners. Now, we believe passionately in cultural tourism as one of the city's leading economic drivers, and SPAC dedicates its own resources, along with financial support from Empire State Development, I Love New York, and Saratoga County, in targeted campaigns to bring audiences who are equally passionate about world-class performing arts to Saratoga Springs. Now, I moved up here in 2016 after having spent many, many decades in New York City in the international arts and entertainment world. And I can tell you without a doubt that there is nowhere else in the world where this confluence exists: a year-round, world-class performing arts center in a flagship state park, historic thoroughbred horse racing, a vibrant small city downtown with breathtaking historic preservation, with proximity to 6 million acres of Adirondack parkland and one of the nation's most beautiful and beloved lakes. By focusing on this unique identity, SPAC has seen significant growth. In just 1 year, from 2022 to 23, we realized an additional sale of 15,000 SPAC tickets sold to audience members outside the capital region through our initial campaigns with Empire State Development, I Love New York, and Saratoga County. And we continue to build on that momentum year over year. But SPAC's true impact extends far beyond the summer and far beyond tourism and economic development. We are, first and foremost, a year-round, community-supported 501c3 arts and culture organization. Half of our $14.5 million annual operating budget is sustained from charitable donations every year, thanks to a generous board, membership from the community, and an increasingly strong network of corporate partners. And SPAC is nourished by this community. And in return, we take our responsibility to put nutrients back into the soil very seriously. In addition to a commitment to economic development, we also have tremendous commitment to supporting community through partnerships with organizations such as Cafe Lena, UPH, Northshire Bookstore, Skidmore College, Ames Services, Saratoga Bridges, and many, many others. Our education program has grown from serving 5,000 kids in 2016 to over 60,000 individuals throughout the Capital Region and North Country, partnering with more than 120 schools and other nonprofits. That includes serving individuals with developmental and physical disabilities, supporting students and educators, and providing over 15,000 free tickets every year to veterans, to farmers and their families, to individuals in underserved communities, and to children who participate in initiatives like SPAC's Classical Kids program. This work really matters, not only because of the well-documented educational and developmental benefits of arts, but because it speaks to something even more fundamental. An investment in the arts is an investment in the health, well-being, and resilience of our community. And increasingly, we are able to measure that impact in new ways. An emerging body of rigorous science now confirms what human beings have long sensed, that engagement with the arts is good for our health. It reduces stress hormones. It strengthens cognitive development in children. It eases depression, isolation, and anxiety, supports recovery from disease, and can even extend healthy lifespan. At SPAC, that science is not abstract. It is alive in our work every single day. Many of you are already part of this story as corporate partners, sponsors, or individual supporters, and all of that support makes a tangible difference. It enables SPAC to be not only a shining light on the national cultural stage, but also a deeply committed member of this community, one that believes in service, in access, and in the power of the arts to drive both economic vitality and human connection and resilience. Thank you all so much for being here and for all that you do to support and strengthen our beloved region. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That was a very enlightening rundown on SPAC. So now it's going to be my pleasure to welcome our special guests from government, business, community development, leadership this evening. So why don't we hold our applause until the end and we can speed this. There's quite a list here, so but we'll make this happen a little quicker. Representing Governor Kathy Hochul's office, Capital Region Regional Director Dan Wren. Representing the 108th Assembly District, we have Assemblyman John McDonald. Representing the 112th Assembly District, we have Mary Beth Walsh. Representing the 113th, we have Assemblywoman Carrie Werner. Representing the 114th, we have Assemblyman Matt Simpson. Vice Chair of the Saratoga County Board of Supervisors and Saratoga Town Supervisor Ian Murray, Clifton Park Town Supervisor Ram Mohan Lakota, Charlton Town Supervisor Joe Grasso, Half Moon Town Supervisor Kevin Tollison, Malta Town Supervisor Cynthia Young, Saratoga County Administrator Steve Bulger, Deputy Saratoga County Administrator Ridge Harris, the Mayor of the City of Saratoga, John Safford, Mayor of the Village of Stillwater and member of the Mechanicville Stillwater IDA, Judy Wood Zeno, President of the Saratoga County Chamber of Commerce, Todd Shimkus, President of Discover Saratoga, Daryl Legere, President of New York Creates, Dave Anderson, Chief Operating Officer of New York Creates, Paul Kelly, President of the Center for Economic Growth and Capital Region Chamber of Commerce, Mark Egan, President of the Columbia Economic Development Corp., F. Michael Tucker, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Warren County Economic Development Corp., Jim Siplin, Chairman of the Saratoga County IDA, Rod Sutton, Chairman of the Clifton Park IDA, Todd Hess, Chairperson of the Mechanicville Stillwater IDA, Sally Herrick, Chief Executive Officer of the Warren Washington County IDA, Chuck Barton, President and CEO of the Saratoga Hospital, Jill Van Branken, Executive Director of the Saratoga Warren Washington Workforce Development Board, Griffin Stefan, getting close here, President of the Saratoga Downtown Business Association, also known as the DBA, our favorite, Deanne Devitt. And I'd also like to, let's get this whole list done for one big round of applause here. I'd also like to acknowledge my colleagues on the SEDC Board of Directors, Vice Chair Doug Ford, Secretary Mike Relier, Treasurer Ryan Shaw, Board members Steve Bulger, David Collins, Daryl Legere, Zach Mans, Wayne Samuscott, Todd Shimkus, and Charles Waite Jr. So now you can clap.
Take a drink.
All right. All right. It's only water. At this time, I'd like to take an opportunity to recognize a recent retiree of the board, Tom Samuscott, who served with us for, I don't know, probably at least a good long term, 10 years. Tom served with honor and distinction beginning in December of 2016, the owner of Malta Development. Tom retired from our board in 2025 and retired as a member December 31st, 2025. In recognition of his service to our organization through some of the more difficult times that we had in that decade, the SEDC board is going to make a contribution in Tom's name to the Ronald McDonald House in honor of Tom's service to SEDC. So we would like to wish Tom and his wife Laurel a happy and healthy retirement here from the board on the SEDC. So now I would like to welcome to the podium our operations manager, Patty Beatty.
Thanks, John. Good evening. It's my pleasure to recognize our SEDC major stakeholders. Each of these companies support the mission, goals, and objectives of SEDC at a very high economic level on an annual basis. Saratoga County, Stonebridge Iron and Steel, GA Bove Fuels, DA Collins Companies, Janitronics, Global Foundries, and Stewart Shops. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to our newest SEDC member stakeholders, and they have highlighter on their tags if you see them. Arco National Construction Company, Bank of Greene County, City of Mechanicville, Couch White LLP, Fred's Tents and Canopies, Iron Glass Productions, Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Greater Albany, the towns of Ballston, Charlton, Corinth, Day, Edinburgh, Galway, Greenfield, Hadley, Milton, Northumberland, Providence, Saratoga, Stillwater, Waterford, the town of Wilton, Quick Response Restoration, W.M. Schultz Construction Company, and Warren County Economic Development Corporation. Let's give all our new members and stakeholders a warm round of applause. I would like to acknowledge our annual meeting major event sponsors for this evening: Saratoga County, Stonebridge Iron and Steel, G.A. Bow Fuels, D.A. Collins Companies, Janitronics, Saratoga County Industrial Development Agency, Adirondack Trust Company, Lemery Chrysler LLC, Curtis Lumber, Town of Clifton Park Industrial Development Agency, and Frank and Dolores Perillo of Saratoga Prime Properties. Thanks to all this evening's sponsors for your economic support and encouragement for SEDC's daily efforts and tonight's annual meeting. Let's give all our sponsors of this evening's event a nice round of applause. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize a soon-to-be retired member of the SEDC staff and leadership team, and our friend Vicki Niles. Vicki's been a member of the SEDC staff since March 1st, 2023. Vicki served as our member stakeholder coordinator, the editor of our monthly newsletter and stakeholder spotlight, coffee and cocktail connectors, as well as responsible for all SEDC's social media presence and many other duties benefiting our members. Vicki and her husband Tom plan to travel, rest, relax, and enjoy more time at home. A contribution in Vicki's name will be made to Captain Community Human Services to honor Vicki's service to SEDC. I ask Vicki now to come to the podium to accept a small token of our appreciation and a round of applause from all our members and guests. Do you want to say a few words?
No. Thank you, everybody.
We wish Vicki a happy and healthy retirement. We will miss you. I'd like now to introduce our board treasurer, Ryan Shaw, to provide the annual treasurer's report.
Thank you, Patty. To keep in line where John and Patty left off, I will now proceed to list every vendor payment that we've made over the last 12 months. Good evening. I'm pleased to report that the fiscal condition of the Saratoga Economic Development Corporation is sound. For the fiscal period of January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025, SCDC had total annual revenue of $1.7 million against total annual expense of approximately $1 million for a budget surplus of $700,000. Appropriately explained, the budget surplus is attributed to an outstanding year for the corporation as a direct result of the successful capital investment projects proposed by SCDC and enabled by the respective industrial development agencies that are currently under construction. On October 15th, 2025, on the recommendation of the Finance and Audit Committee, the 2026 annual budget was unanimously approved. The 2026 operating budget of $1,116,500 charged against a budgeted annual expense of $1,148,250, creating an estimated budget deficit of $31,750. The corporation is in compliance with all regulatory filings on our annual tax returns, registration requirements within New York State Charities Registration, and grant obligations with Saratoga County. The treasurer's report is the motion. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Approved. Thank you. This concludes the annual treasurer's report on behalf of the corporation. I would now like to introduce SEDC Nominating Committee Chair Charles Waite Jr. to the podium to provide his report. Charlie.
Thanks, Ryan.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the nominating committee, it is my pleasure to recommend to membership the following individuals to serve in the position of director for the Saratoga Economic Development Corporation for the 3-year term ending March 31st, 2029. Representing D.A. Collins Companies, David Collins. Representing Adirondack Trust Company, myself. Representing the law firm of Schenko, Russo and Clark, Michael Relier. The nominating committee report is the motion. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Congratulations to the elected board members. It is also the recommendation of the nominating committee that the following members of the board of directors serve as officers for a 1-year term ending March 31st, 2027. Representing Munter Enterprises, John Munter, Chairman. Representing Curtis Lumber, Doug Ford, Vice Chairman. And representing Schenker, Russo and Clark, Michael Relier, Secretary. And representing Stewart's Shops, Ryan Shaw, Treasurer. The nominating committee report is the motion. Is there a second? All those in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to introduce our President and Chief Executive Officer, Greg Connors, to the podium.
Thank you, Charlie. Good evening once again, and thank you all for your attendance and interest this evening. I truly hope you're enjoying the hospitality provided by our member stakeholder SPAC and Mazzone Hospitality. The SEDC staff hopes you will thoroughly enjoy the networking and company of friends and business colleagues this evening. I'd also like to thank my friend and colleague Elizabeth Sobel and her team here at the Performing Arts Center for their gracious hospitality and cooperation in making our annual meeting the first event in the 2026 kickoff of the 60th anniversary celebration of SPAC. Please, if you would like a photo with the amphitheater in the background, be sure to ask our official SEDC photographer, Iron Glass Production. Dave Bigler is here. Raise his hand. He's the guy with all the cameras around his neck. He'd be happy to accommodate you. Feel free to take advantage of what may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I'd also like to acknowledge the hard work and professional efforts of your SEDC staff that has not only made this evening event an enjoyable success, but also the professional efforts they employ every day on behalf of each one of you and your organizations. Please acknowledge with your applause Tori Riley, Project Executive. Tori. Patty Beatty, our Operations Manager. Keith Van Vechten, Director of Special Projects, Events, and Innovation. Vicki Niles, our Member Stakeholder Coordinator. And Joanne Kirkpatrick, Special Events and Membership Coordinator. In 2025 and now in early 2026, SEDC continues our efforts to bring new investment, job creation, and job retention to Saratoga County. In cooperation with the IDAs in 2025, we enabled over $406 million in new investments, created over 900 new full-time job opportunities, retained 475 jobs, and will create over 800 temporary construction jobs. And that is independent of the $2 billion Regeneron investment that contemplates the creation of an estimated 1,000 new full-time jobs and 500 construction jobs over the next 3 to 5 years. More about our collaborative efforts with the IDAs in a moment. With a budget estimate of $340,000 in member stakeholder dues, I'm pleased to report that 93% of that budget estimate is already in the bank, with less than $30,000 outstanding to meet our budget projection. Both the Board of Directors and staff interpret that response as your affirmation that today's SEDC is on track with our mission, goals, and objectives. Thank you to each of you who have remitted your dues dollars in 2026 promptly. As you are aware, SEDC is now in our second year of a 5-year strategic plan. In year 1, we created and expanded our standing and special committees, amended our bylaws to impose term limits for members of the board of directors, expanded both our business and community development outreach, and reformed and electronically updated our back office operation. Now in year 2, our strategic goals will be to launch pilot programs and grant initiatives advancing infrastructure, energy, and housing affordability. We will be updating and revising our due structure and member benefits and begin to imagine and plan what SED will look like in our next 50 years, beginning in 2028. SEDC recently concluded phase 1 of a targeted national marketing campaign promoting Saratoga County and the Capital Region. We targeted those states where 21st century advanced manufacturing construction is currently underway or contemplated. All projects supported in part by the Federal CHIPS and Science Act. In the states of Texas, Arizona, Oregon, Idaho, Michigan, and Ohio, and with the assistance and commentary by local and regional subject matter experts and investors who've made recent successful capital investments in Saratoga County, we are telling the story of available opportunity and the much above average quality of life that Saratoga County provides far beyond the geographic borders of our county and capital region. Using the various business journal platforms available in those states, the campaign was designed to not only promote Saratoga County and the capital region as the next place to make one's capital investment, but to drive those readers to our website. Phase 2 is to capture their IP address, website, and contact information when they are visiting our site. SEDC staff is now mining that data in what we've titled Project Engage. SEDC will then reach out to those individuals, company, and site selectors in other states who have visited our website and expressed some interest based on our marketing campaign. The results have been greater than I had hoped. Some basic statistics are now on the screen, but by all measure, the investment, supported at 50% of the total cost by a National Grid Economic Development Grant, continues to be successful by all measure. I'd like to acknowledge the presence here this evening of my friend representing the Business Journal, Christian Jones. Christian, where are you? Raise your hand. There he is over there. Christian brought this national targeted marketing campaign to my attention now over a year ago, and as I said, it's been wildly successful. Thank you, Christian. Our monthly member stakeholder spotlight, conceived, edited, and published by Vicki, has grown in popularity, and we've seen open and read rates among our members continue to grow. As a reminder, our SED website provides an interactive opportunity for us to promote your news, events, company initiatives, and human interest stories to a wider audience than your conventional marketing may provide. And that service is at no charge as an SEDC member stakeholder benefit. Send the news and notes from your company electronically to Keith. He's very responsive and timely with getting all the good news of our SEDC member stakeholders up on our website. Recently, SEDC engaged member stakeholder Camoin Associates to prepare a very important report for distribution that tells the story of investment success and opportunity in Saratoga County. As a result of our cooperation and collaboration with the 3 IDAs, Saratoga County, Clifton Park, and Mechanical Stillwater, between 2020 and 2025, SEDCs and the IDAs supported 54 capital investment projects in Saratoga County. These investments attracted new businesses, expanded existing employers, and strengthened the region's economic foundation. These projects represent nearly $3 billion in private investment and demonstrate coordinated approach facilitated by SEDC to build long-term economic growth. $1.3 billion in construction spending created $577,000 in sales tax revenue generated by those construction employees who are spending their earnings directly in Saratoga County. The success of our IDAs have created a strong multiplier effect. For every one direct job created by an IDA-enabled project, an additional three-quarter jobs are added to the local economy. The success of our IDAs have contributed a significant share of employment in Saratoga County. Nearly 1 in 10 jobs in Saratoga County are a result of an IDA-sponsored and enabled project. And maybe most important, the projects enabled by our partners in the IDAs create above-average wages. An average of over $80,000 in annual salary per worker, which is 22% higher than the average county wage, represent the success of the IDAs and their consideration, deliberation, and decision-making process. The evidence is clear and convincing. Since 2020, both employment and business investment in Saratoga County have grown and continues to grow steadily, with employment rising 13% and business investment increasing by 8%. And finally, IDA projects approved between 2020 and 2025, in addition to the individual project investment results and job creation, are expected to generate over 9,000 full-time jobs, $741 million in annual payroll, and $2.7 billion in annual sales across Saratoga County when those enabled projects are in full operation. Watch the screens to see how we will market and tell the story of SEDC and IDA success here in Saratoga County. At its core, and for more than a quarter century, capital investment, job creation, job retention, and economic opportunity have been the primary responsibility of the Saratoga Economic Development Corporation, SEDC, and the sole responsibility of our partners and stakeholders in economic development, the 3 industrial development agencies, the Saratoga County IDA, the Clifton Park IDA, and the Mechanicsville-Stillwater IDA. These public authorities, charged with the responsibility of investment of taxpayer dollars, incentivize viable and responsible projects that enable new investment in semiconductor manufacturing supply chain, light industrial, commercial, life sciences, traditional manufacturing, renewable energy, distribution and logistics, agriculture, and equine economic sectors. In the last half dozen years alone, close to $3 billion in investment has been proposed, with a substantial portion of those projects enabled, incentivized, where construction is currently underway. With these investments, approximately 4,000 full-time jobs have been created, almost 2,000 full-time jobs retained, and with those new and retained jobs, over $300 million in payroll created or remaining right here in Saratoga County. The economic development, investment, and IDA process is deliberative, thoughtful, and has a potential and real impact on every town, city, and village in our county. While the $15 billion Global Foundries and $2 billion Regeneron investments receive the most press, investments in Saratoga County range more regularly in the $2.5 million to $170 million range. All investments at any level are equally important and impactful to our quality of life and the growing regional, national, and international interest that Saratoga County is open for business. SEDC extends our thanks and appreciation to the volunteer IDA boards in Saratoga County, led by Chairman Rod Sutton of the Saratoga County IDA, Todd Hess of the Clifton Park IDA, and Sally Herrick of the Mechanicsville-Stillwater IDA for their dedication, vision, and commitment to economic opportunity in a place we all call home. What do you think? I would like to acknowledge Joe Pape and Pape Productions for putting that video together. Thank you, Joe. It's not all work and play and no play at SEDC. Our member stakeholders, guests, and anticipated 20,000 spectators will enjoy our third Belmont on Broadway community concert on June 3rd. Our special events now scheduled in 2026 include a joint mixer with the Saratoga Chamber on August 13th at the Hideaway in Stillwater, our annual golf outing on September 10th at the Saratoga Lake Golf Club, also in Stillwater, our holiday reception and trivia event on December 1st at the Holiday Inn Saratoga, and a joint holiday reception with our partners and community stakeholders Discover in the County Chamber on December 9th at Treehouse Brewing. We hope to see you all at all of those events. The QR codes that are displayed in the event loop displayed on the screens will bring you to the SEDC website and the event calendar for the 2026 summer season at SPAC. Take a minute to scan both codes into your mobile device. Make a visit to SPAC this summer a must-attend on your social and entertainment calendar. The hard work continues. In closing, I would be remiss if I did not thank you all again for your support and attendance this evening, as well as your regular interest, participation, economic support for the mission, goals, objectives of the Saratoga Economic Development Corporation. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the evening.